Welcome back, everybody, for another week. And last time I said that we'd get discounts on the arcade and the homes, and I think the Penthouse counts as a home, so I would say we got a couple of those right. And I just want to point this out because this is one of the goals of the channel, is to predict what's going to happen, and there are a few things that did happen. Aside from that, though, the podium vehicle this week is the Rune Zaba, and the trade price on it is 1.8 million. Now, this is a slow vehicle, and it is amphibious, though, so if you want to take it on the water, you can do that. But most people probably aren't going to want to spend 2.4 million on this. If they do, they might not be happy, so getting it for free is all right. Aside from that, we have the X80 Proto, the Komoda, Rebla GTS, the Baller LE, and the armored version of it. They aren't showing up as discounted on mine, but I have seen other people's where they are discounted. The Karen Everon, the Vapid Retinue Mark II, as well as the Vapid Retinue. And then the Twitch Prime discounts are still the same as last week. We have the LF22 Starling, the ETR1, and then the Vespucci Canals Nightclub. So one of the goals this week, if you don't have it already, would be to get an arcade. Now, you'll need a CEO office or an MC clubhouse to get it. So last week would have been perfect if you got that. And this will give you access to the casino heist, which will give you money, but how much is the question? So the arcades, there's, I believe, 6 locations for these. And the ones in the city do cost a little bit more than the ones way out here, but the ones way out there, if you're doing the casino heist, every time you do prep work, you're going to have to drive all the way from Paleto Bay or Grapeseed to get to the casino to do these things. So the ones in the city will save you time in real life. And that's just with the heists. If you're not a heist person like myself, then they're still really useful to have in the city. I go to my arcade a lot, and it's useful to have right next to your nightclub, because after you restock everything at your arcade, then you can go to the nightclub and pick up the safe money. I'll show you how that works in a second here. This is my arcade. It's in the Strawberry area. And then on the inside, of course, is a bunch of arcade machines. And there is a lot of different ones that you can get, and some of them, most of them are on sale this week. So if you want these things, it's definitely a good time to pick them up. They do provide you a little bit of passive income, but it will never pay off. It's just a very slow process to get passive income through here. One of the cool things, though, is you can have a drone station from your arcade, and then you can, go in the store and try to rob it. Doesn't really work, but you can refill your snacks as well for free too, and the menu is faster in the arcade as opposed to other places. There's a safe that collects that passive income through there, but it's really not much, not worth getting. Here's where you would go in to get all those arcade games, and as well as the upgrades, which is where you get the drone station as well as the master control terminal, which is a huge reason to get the arcade. So this is what the master control terminal looks like, and it's something that you can only get in the arcade. It's really useful because you can manage all of your motorcycle businesses in it. You can also get some of the ones for the CEO or import-export. It's just really useful because you can go through and just buy all your supplies from one location instead of going to all the individual businesses, which makes it really nice and frees up a lot of time to be doing anything else. The reason I just pay for the supplies is because all those supply missions, like they really aren't that great of a use of time, and if you just buy the supplies, you end up being profitable anyway, and you can do the things that you want to do in those time periods instead of going through the supply missions. And another way to think about that is if you do have that many businesses, it's like you're always selling instead of trying to source something and then sell. So it's just like if you can always sell, you're always making money. Get what I mean? Buy the arcade. You also can get a weapons expert that can upgrade a lot of weapons to the Mark II versions, which are pretty cool. There is a garage in the arcade as well, and it can store something like 10 vehicles. I forget exactly. And then this is also where you launch the heist. I'm having a little bit of a power outage here. It looks like something's going on. I don't know. But anyway, the heist setups are 75% off this week, so that will save you a little bit of money. And then, of course, the Penthouse. It is a really big area. It's like probably the nicest property that you can own. It's got a walk-in closet here and a mirror. Yeah, there I am. And then a bathroom that's made out of like marble and just, I mean, it's pretty incredible looking. It has a movie theater kind of room if you so choose to get it. And then this room is where you can host a party and invite anybody in the lobby and they can all come here. It has a really amazing view, this wraparound kind of room. You can see a lot of the city. It's definitely a really nice piece of property, and it gives you a few benefits. You can do high stakes gambling, and you can also launch the casino missions on your own. Here's the spa as well as my hairdresser, and the walls have waterfalls coming down them.
Place your bets, folks.
And then here is my own blackjack table in my room. I had a 17 right here, so I decided to stand.
There's a 17.
Came out with a push. This is one of my favorite things about the Penthouse is the gambling table, because I've actually been reasonably successful with it. And then the last thing there is pretty much is this phone from the 1970s that allows you to call an airplane, pick up some tokens for the casino. There's the valet. You can get your apartment cleaned, which is really interesting because this apartment actually gets dirty over time. But here are all the things that you can do to the casino, and they're all about as expensive as you can imagine, except for they're discounted this week, so it's the best time that you could do it. The real discounts we're all after, though, is the six-figure champagne. Typically 150,000 tokens at the casino is free this week, so you can, you know, shake the bottle up and have a party for free. Don't mind the hair. And if you do happen to drink a little bit too much, though, just remember that you can always call a cab to get back to wherever you need to go safely. You do not want to endanger other people's lives. It doesn't take too long for them to show up. And, I mean, if you can find your way to the cab. And then on the inside, you just, you know, tell them where you want to go. And the perfect place to go is obviously to the tattoo parlor. Then after whatever that life decision leads you to, you can play a little bit of the Resurrection series, which are 2 times the money. The casino missions that you can get with the Penthouse are also 2 times money as well. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to find enough people that wanted to play. So if you run into the same problem, the races this week, there's one up at Paleto Bay called Sawmill, and then the other one is at the quarry for the RC Bandito. So if you want to GPS your destination on the Sawmill race real quick, it ends over at the quarry, which is really convenient if you have the RC Bandito. But you won't be following the GPS at all. So one of the major tricks about this race is the first jump. You need to take that corner and then hit this and land right up in that area. This jump is definitely key to making it there on time, but once you get that, you pretty much just stay on the railroad tracks for a long time. You want to be leaning forward or on a wheelie and on one of the tracks for as long as you possibly can be at any given time. Then when you get up close to the airport, you find just about any way that you can towards the actual runway. Now, I didn't pick the best route through the fence or into the air here, but it still works out okay. Once you get to the end of the runway, you make a right, and you just follow this road. Then when you cross the bridge, the quarry will be on your left. And you go through there, and it is right here. And this is, of course, thanks to the always cheap Bati 801, coming in at $15,000. So once you finish that, like I said, you're really close to the RC car race, and all you have to do is just drive down this hill, and it's right there. The RC car race is a little bit more complicated. I definitely didn't get it on my first time around, but you want to go down this hill here, and you have to be really careful on it because you want to wash out. This is actually pretty much straight right there, but you can't tell. And then you just kind of go in circles a little bit. Try not to do that. This area's a little tricky because of the curbs. I usually put a little hop in right here. And then a long straight stretch. And then around this corner, you need to be really careful because you have to stay on the right side of that guardrail. Then another long straight stretch. And then you got to be a little careful going down this hill because it's off camber. And then on this one, I usually throw in a jump so I land nice and smooth. But that's all there is to it. I was able to get both of those done in, I think, about 15 or 20 minutes, so 200,000. So looking into next week and the next coming weeks, there is some construction equipment over at the casino, so there might be something going on there that you might want to try to save some money up for. As far as the discounts that I'm projecting next is still the arena. These were just vehicles in the last couple of weeks, and so it's been a long gap since before the last sale and before the sale of that. And the ones earlier in the year had a little closer together spacing, minus that first one. But it looks like we're definitely due for something for arena stuff again. So don't buy an Arena Workshop. It might go on sale. Arena Wars is also very overdue for the actual income that you get from it. And it's not great income, but if you like the Arena Wars, I mean, it's definitely not a bad thing. Cargo warehouse sales look like they're trending to, we should be getting those maybe within 2 weeks, maybe sooner or later. Air freight looks like it's trending also. It might also be about 2 weeks on that. Then hopefully we do end up seeing some 2 times VIP money. Now this is one of the better ways to make money in the game if you can put up with grinding for a while. Earlier in the year it looked like the events were happening a little bit more frequently minus this one. Pretty big gap there, and we're looking like we might set up to repeat that same gap, or maybe it will happen soon. Hopefully. I don't know exactly when that will happen, but I do think it will be sometime soon. We're definitely due for an Akula sale as well, which is a helicopter I really like because you can go off the radar and do missions, and it hides the cargo inside of it as well. So it's a really useful thing if you like to do those kinds of things. And then the Avenger is also something that looks like it's overdue. It's definitely a little past what the trend has been. It was a lot more common earlier in the year too, and we just had the facility go on sale. So I feel like this is something that should be happening again soon. Then the CEO offices look like they're about due as well. They've been trending very frequently and in a very steady pattern this year. So it seems like the CEO offices and renovations is something that could definitely be happening sometime soon. There was a large gap earlier in the year, but it's definitely been more frequent, and it looks like, according to that pattern, we're, about due. Hangars are also something that look like they're about due, and that kind of lines up with the air freight sales. These hangars, though, have been following this kind of a pattern, and it seems like we're just about due, or maybe within a couple of weeks we'll get a hangar. And some people might say, oh, it's kind of ridiculous to wait that long to get a hangar, but there's a certain flow that goes with the buying and selling of this game that if you do it, you end up always being ahead. So if you're someone who constantly doesn't have money, if you follow this method, it might change that. Another one of these sales that might happen is the RC Bandito. According to the rest of the year, it's definitely well overdue. Same with the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. Both of these oppressors haven't been on sale in quite a while, and while the Mark 1 has been even longer since it's been on sale, they're both looking like they're overdue. Now, they don't totally follow a similar trend, but it does seem like it's going to happen again sometime soon. So hopefully you were stacking your money up from last week because as I was saying, it was probably going to be drying up. But anyway, we'll wrap it up with the Carrot Everon, which is the vehicle of the week. It's not the best at off-road, but it is very customizable. You can see the skis on the top there. I'm pretty much hoping for winter. And I don't think it will be too much longer before it snows. And something tells me that we're going to want a lot of money when that time comes around for the DLC. So be saving up for that, and hopefully you were able to really take advantage of last week because it seems like everything has dried up. If you're brand new, try to do some of the things that are 2 times money, and if you were able to get those businesses last week, definitely be using them. Anyway, that's all, and I will catch you next time.